So we talked the last couple days regarding our relationships with God, uh, how to speak with Him, and all the ways in which we can get to know about God through the beauty of the world and the entire universe. So now there's also prayer, and we do quite a bit of that. A bit later on, we can get into the types of prayer and ways in which we either petition God, thank Him, or simply worship Him. These are some great discussions, but for now we should just talk about the ways in which God comes to meet man himself. That seems amazing, but so very appropriate for Holy Thursday today when I'm recording this, that we can, of course, think of Jesus Christ when it comes to God meeting man. And that is, or should be, the pinnacle way in which we think of God and mankind together. But we can also think of other times, perhaps Abram and God speaking in the land that would eventually become Israel. Also, of course, Moses and the burning bush. But note here how God always shields himself from mankind. We hear in Torah of Moses having to veil his own face because his face was radiating the brightness of God. Moses actually asked to see God as he was, but God had to refuse because it says in 1 Timothy, he is the unapproachable light. So it's incredible to think about the God who would bring himself down to our own level and reveal anything, but indeed reveals, as the Catechism calls it, his plan of loving goodness. Now, of course, he doesn't do this all at once. It is over a period of time that he reveals more and more and more of his plan. I mean, one would get blown away by the plan even after so much time. We can still look back and not completely get just how much love is involved in all of this. So he revealed that plan over a long period of time, and the way he seemed to have done this is with something called a covenant. Now, there's some great videos out there on what a covenant is, so go ahead and look for some of these. Perhaps someone like Scott Hahn, Jeff Cavins, Timothy Gray, just amazing theologians. But putting it kind of simply, a covenant is a promise between two people, one being far superior to the other. The weaker one, if found breaking the rules, pays a huge price. So there have been numerous covenants between God and mankind. Each time the stakes get a little bit bigger. First, there's the covenant with Adam. Obviously, this is just between the two of them, God always being vastly superior to mankind. God offered Adam intimate communion with God and clothed them in resplendent grace and justice. Now, that came from a letter called De Verbum, or Word of God. This letter was actually written during the Vatican II Council and reiterated the beliefs and thoughts that have always been taught by the Church, maybe just using a little bit more current language. Letter is fascinating read if you happen to like that kind of reading. You can find it online very easily. I've typed it on the way to spell it right here below. So we all know that Adam and Eve broke their covenant with God and brought about original sin. God, though, gave us all another chance. And he constantly does this with people because he loves us. And quite honestly, a great many love him back. If we look back to the story of the destruction of Sodom, Abram intercedes with God for the innocent. Remember, he says something along the lines, suppose, God, there are 50 innocent people. Would you spare the city? Suppose there are 40, 10. So the innocent are spared the wrath by God. Now, this obviously does not mean nothing bad happens. We still have the effects of that original sin around. Again, though, another topic for another day. So, as I mentioned, there have been many covenants, and each one builds upon the previous ones. The covenant with Adam was with one man. The covenant with Noah was with a family. The covenant with Abraham was with a tribe and its people. The covenant with Israel is then with a nation, and the final covenant, as the end of public revelation, was with Jesus Christ, whose covenant was with the entire world. See, on this night, when we celebrate the institution of the Eucharist and the priesthood, and look at Jesus' last days before the crucifixion, we should be looking back to ourselves and just how we have been doing with our own end of the covenant. Now, each day we reinvent ourselves to bring ourselves a little closer to this revelation. Now, that's all that's been revealed to God by God, and there won't be any more public revelation. There may be private revelation, and anyone can accept or not accept that private revelation. If the church approves a certain private revelation, it's been shown to have no bad effects upon the faith. So the examples of these are the various apparitions of Mary, of Jesus himself, things like Fatima, Lourdes, and even the Rosary fall into this private revelation, and need not be practiced if one is not brought closer to God using it. These are, although very virtuous practices, full of piety, and can certainly allow one's faith to grow immensely. So don't write them off. Most people will find these quite humbling and quite holy. The public revelations which we have come to be known are all God speaking to us and bringing his divine plan into its fullness. It reached its zenith in the death, resurrection, and ascension into heaven by Jesus Christ. And we will be celebrating his death on the cross on Friday, his resurrection on Sunday. He has risen. Truly he is risen, as our Eastern Orthodox brothers and sisters say. And we hope to say that with them for all eternity. So be good, play nice, thank God.